vital part of a complete eye examination in children is to dilate their pupils with eye drops. The eye drops are required to get an accurate assessment of their refractive error, that is, if the child is nearsighted, farsighted, etc., or needs glasses. We cannot determine a proper prescription or even determine if the child needs glasses without dilating their pupils.
When the pupils are dilated and the doctor sees the child with the retinoscope, with the lenses, the doctor will see very precisely what that child's refractive error is. And what I mean by that is the child farsighted, nearsighted? Does this child have astigmatism? And very precisely how much, such that the doctor can write the glasses prescription, if the child needs glasses, from this measurement without the child ever having to say a word. And those glasses will be correct for that child.
As an initial exam and for any yearly follow-up, we do a dilated eye exam. And what that involves is instilling 1 or 2 drops in each eye and then waiting for at least 30 to 40 minutes and then having the doctor do their intraocular exam. Now, that cannot be done accurately unless these drops are instilled. And the beauty of this technique is that the child does not have to give any responses back. We don't have to have the child look at letters. We don't have to have the child say this is clear or that is clear. That measurement can be done objectively by the physician once these drops are instilled.
So when children get much older into their teenage years, we are able to use the 4-opter, which is the big, large set of glasses, and go through, is it better 1 or better 2? But in young children, we can't do that because they can't verbalize, is it better or is it 1 or 2? So dilating eye drops provide us with 2 pieces of information. One, it paralyzes or relaxes a muscle inside the eye temporarily for about 6 hours so that the lens inside the eye stops changing shape. The analogy of looking at a child or trying to observe a child who's bouncing on a trampoline, so they're constantly moving up and down and up and down, and the pupil is changing shape and going in and out and in and out, so it's harder to assess any pathology or abnormality that could be in the back of the eye. It also fully dilates the pupil, so we are able to see the back of the eyeball, which is the retina and the optic nerve head in its entirety, so we can assess if there's any pathology or any abnormality in the back of the eye. If we don't dilate the pupil, we can only assess about 20 to 25% of the retina, which means that's a significant amount of the back of the eye that we are unable to see and make sure that there's nothing abnormal going on.
Parents are usually very concerned about the eye drops. And it is, we really get in their space, right? So you've had this rapport with the kids, you've played some games, we've checked their vision, we have some fun tests that we do to see if the eyes are working together. And now I'm going to put eye drops in your eyes. And you really have to get in that child's space. And kids don't like that. So I tell them, I'm going to put a few drops in your eyes. Have you ever had eye drops? Some kids have had pink eye and have had eye drops, and they remember that they didn't really like it. I still like to show them. I say, well, it feels sort of like a cold drop of water. I'm going to put it on your hand so you can see what it feels like. And we do that. And if they feel more comfortable sitting in their parent's lap, they're going to sit in their parent's lap. Sometimes they want their parent just to stand next to them. To me, the most important thing is we have to get the eye drops in because we need to do that part of the exam. But I want to do it in a way that will make this child the most comfortable. I will say sometimes a child has really sort of worked themselves up into quite a lot of anxiety about the eye drops. And oftentimes this is a child who's had them before and just remembers that they didn't like that someone was putting something in their eyes. For those kids, and the parents are usually very much aware that this child's very anxious about the eye drops, a lot of parents come into the room and say to me, kind of on the sly, he's really worried about the drops. And it's like, I like to just talk to the child about that. I know you're worried about the drops, but right now we're not doing them. And when it's time, I'll let you know. We want this to be as easy as possible, even though he feels very uncomfortable about it. once we're done, mom says, yep, this is what we're doing. We're laying down. Mom holds his hands. I put the eye drops in. The child may be upset at the time, but I am telling you, 90% of the time they sit up and they're like, okay, and out to the waiting room they go to watch a video or play in the playroom. So we try and be very in tune with what this child needs, but we also do need to get the job done.
The reason for these drops is so the doctor can do their job. Because what our physicians will do is look at the back of the eyes, the inside of the eyes, and make sure structurally everything is healthy. And then also ensure that there's a good assessment of any refractive error. And that's measurement of any near, farsightedness, or astigmatism. That can only be achieved in a child by using eye drops. And so babies, children who are frightened, nonverbal, delayed developmentally, or older children all can have the same accurate eye exam.